Hi, this is Vicki with Crafting for Fun. Today I want to show you how I made this adorable card that looks like a chest of drawers with some baby clothes and baby paraphernalia hanging off of it. This is a really quick and easy card to create. I'm going to mainly focus on how to create the dresser today, and I just wanted to let you know that I did decorate my dresser using elements from the Something for Baby stamp set by Stampin' Up. So I stamped those images and cut them out using the coordinating framelits. But the main emphasis of this tutorial will be how to create this little dresser, and it's just a standard side opening card. So let me gather my supplies and I'll show you how I made this card. To create today's card, you'll need the following items. You'll need a piece of cardstock that measures 7 1/2 by 5 1/2 inches. And in the same cardstock, you'll need a piece that measures 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. And then three pieces that measure 2 7/8 by 7/8, and the 2 7/8, that's one little tick mark before 3 inches, and 7/8 is one little tick mark before the 1 inch mark. And then you'll need a piece that is 4 inches by 1 1/2. So you'll have 3 pieces that are the same, that are 2 7/8 by 7/8, and then one piece of each of the other sizes. You'll also need some ink for sponging the edges. This is a Craft Colors cardstock, so I'm using my Stampin' Up! Crumb Cake ink pad to sponge the edges, but you'll just want something that is slightly darker than the color of cardstock that you're using. Then you'll need a punch to create the decorative legs on the project. Today I am using the EK Success Real Estate Sign punch, but you could substitute another punch, perhaps the decorative label punch by Stampin' Up, or the Flourish Square punch by EK Success. Those would all work for this project. I chose the Real Estate Sign because I wanted a simpler leg for a little bit more masculine look today than a feminine look, so that's why I chose this one. In addition to that, you'll need tape, scissors, a bone folder, and then either some enamel dots, brads, pearls, or something to create the drawer pulls. And then a little bit later we'll talk about decorating the cards. So let me get started and I'll show you how to make this card. To begin, you're going to take your cardstock and you're going to fold it in half. And this will give you a side opening card. And you're going to want to take a bone folder and crease everything nicely. Now, to save a little bit of time, I'm going to turn mine over. You'll see that I have sponged the edges with that crumb cake ink. And I have done that to all of my other pieces as well. So all of my pieces have been sponged. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by punching and creating the legs on my project. And I'm going to come closer so that you can see that a little bit. I'm going to insert both layers of cardstock into my punch. And I'm going to go about halfway down, maybe slightly more, and I'm going to try to center it from side to side. And you'll see there's about the same amount of space on this side as that side. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch. And you have to give it a good push to get it to go through both layers of cardstock. And that creates the decorative legs on the bottom of my my dresser. So what I want to do now is, because those edges were just created, they of course have not been sponged, even though I've sponged everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and sponge those. And then I'm also going to grab one more punch, and it is the Ticket Corner punch from Stampin' Up. This is purely optional, but I'm going to grab that and show you what that looks like. I'll be right back. This is my Ticket Corner punch, and what this does is take a little notch out of the corner. Now, I do believe this particular punch might be retired from Stampin' Up, but there are other places where you could get a similar punch. So I'm going to take one corner off, and then on the opposite end, oops, also on the same side, I'm going to take the other corner off, and that's going to give me a piece that has little notches on both sides. Like I said, this step is purely optional, and leaving it straight will still create a very lovely card. So now I have all of my pieces sponged and punched. So now I'm ready to begin assembling. I'm going to go ahead and turn over my piece that is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to add adhesive on the back. And of course my adhesive ran out, so let's grab another one. There we go. I'm just going to center that up. Actually, I want to leave a little more space at the top than at the bottom because I'm going to go ahead and add a decorative top to this little dresser. And then I'm going to take my piece that was 1/2 inch wide with the little ticket corner punches out of the top. And I'm going to put adhesive on that. And I want to turn it over so that my little punched corners are facing down. And I'm going to just center those little notches from side to side. Make sure that I'm going to try to line that up so that it's just above slightly above the top edge of the card. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so there's the base of my dresser. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my drawers. And what I like to do for my drawers is add adhesive, and I want to do a little decorating of this card and hang things from these drawers, so I'm not putting adhesive terribly close to the top edge. And I'm going to take and put this first drawer right in the middle of my dresser, leaving about the same amount of space from side to side and trying to get it as straight as possible. And then I'm going to take my next drawer and again putting adhesive only at the bottom and leaving none here along one side. I'm going to put the next one on, and I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch of space between the two dresser drawers and try to make them as even from on the sides as possible. And you do have to take a few minutes to kind of fiddle with it. And then I have one more to do. And I'm going to do the same thing. Adhesive along one long edge. And then I'm going to go up here about 1/4 inch from my other dresser drawer and even from side to side. And there's the basis of my dresser. So now I have some enamel dots. Actually, these are dots that I've made myself, and I applied them to mini glue dots. And what I like to do is, let me see if I can find a piece of post-it note here. I just take a piece of post-it note, and actually I find it very helpful if I can, there we go. Just going to tear a strip, and this has the sticky from the post-it note on it, and this strip is, oh gosh, maybe a little less than 1/2 inch wide, and I am basically using it, I'm lining it up with the outside edge up with the edge of my drawers, and I'm going to use that so that I can put my drawer pulls on equally all the way down. So there's one. And again, the drawer pulls go roughly in the center of the drawer, and you can just eyeball that. Then I'll remove my piece of post-it note, and I'll take it to the other side and do the same thing. I use post-it notes for lots of things. So now that you've got the basis of the drawer, the dresser drawers made, you can really decorate it any way you want. And I've seen these decorated for lots of cute different occasions. Father's Day, babies, you name it. Mother's Day, you could decorate it with like doilies and all kinds of cute things. But I'm going to make a baby card out of this. So what I did was I grabbed two things. I grabbed my Something for Baby stamp set, which is just awesome. It has all of these baby images, and then it has the framelits that coordinate to cut them out, so I don't have to cut out anything by hand. And then I grabbed my Spellbinders, what is this called? Lacy Squares dies, because I wanted a little lacy square to look like a baby blanket. And I'll show you the embellishments that I created using that. First, I stamped a little onesie and then put a little tie on it because I want to make a little boy card. I stamped a little, I cut a little lacy square that I want to use it to represent a baby blanket, and I did a little rubber ducky. And so those are the things that I'm going to add to the outside of my card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me see here, I put some pop dots on the back of this, and In the interest of time, I went ahead and created my embellishments ahead of time, and I was trying to decide where exactly I wanted to hang it. I think I'm going to remove one of those dresser pulls just so my little embellishment lays a little flatter here. And I'm going to go ahead and hang that first the little onesie. I'm going to actually lift up the edge of the drawer. There we go. And whoops. And kind of hang that on there. So I hung that on there. Then I think I want to take my baby blanket, and I think I want to, how do I want to do this? I think I want to have a little bit of it kind of laying over the top of the dresser, like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fold that how I want it to lay across my dresser, and then I'm going to grab a pair of scissors, and I'm going to trim off some of that excess. And let's see. That looks pretty good. And I can go ahead and adhere that to the top of my card. Whoops. Now if I had, there we go. So I've got my baby blanket draped over the top of my dresser. I've got my little baby outfit hung there. And then I have a rubber ducky here that I stamped. And I'm just going to add him down here near the bottom of my dresser. So that's a cute little boy card. And then on the, oops, you know what I don't like? I see that I have a little bit of shiny where that little dresser knob had been, and so I may need to go back and put it on. So I thought I would take it off so that my onesie would lay a little flatter, but I see that there's a shiny spot there. So I probably should have left it off in the first place. There we go. Just put it back on. Then I'm going to open up my card to the inside. And I have a liner here. This liner piece measures 4 1/4 by 3.5 inches. I just put a strip of the same paper that I used to punch that little baby blanket out of, and I stamped a diaper pin on there. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to the inside of my card. Now the entire finished card measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, so it still fits in a standard A2 size envelope. There you go. And you could decorate your dresser drawers to match any theme that you wanted. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com. Hope to see you back here soon.